NFL is a very hard sport. When you play American football, you have to suffer a lot of damage. People are taking you down over and over. But in the world of mixed martial arts, you will get bettered very often, especially if you compete against very tough opponents. I'm Vladimir Vlad, and these are top 5 NFL players who reached UFC. Number 5. Matt Mitrione. Matt Mitrione, unlike many other fighters, immediately got a chance to fight in the UFC, and in Bellator he is known as a great nut kicker though. He holds victories over Kimbo Slice, Tim Hague, Christian Moorcraft, Philip DeFries, Sean Jordan, Derrick Lewis, Gabriel Gonzaga. He lost to Travis Brown, Ben Rothwell, Brandon Schaub, Roy Nelson and Chuck Congo, and Matt Mitrione has a second dan black belt in Shotokan Karate. He can get bettered heavily, but he can also recover, eat shots, and punish the opponent who was bettering him for the whole round. Matt Mitrione is known for great clinch game, great knees, and even better punches from close range. Oh, he is also the guy who turned the lights out on Fedor Emelianenko, so he is everything but a regular fighter. Number 4. Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy is the former Dallas Cowboys and Carolina Panthers defensive end, who was very controversial due to his out-of-octagon incidents. Pretty much in the UFC, Greg Hardy had a solid career. He defeated Austin Lane, Tavares Gordon, Rasheem Jones. He was disqualified against Alan Crowder due to illegal knees, but then he turned the lights out on Dmitry Smolyakov, won Juan Adams in a very controversial stoppage. His victory over Ben Sosoli was overturned to no contest, and then against Alexander Volkov he battled out for 3 rounds and he was really much good. Number 3. Brandon Schaub. Brandon Schaub is also known as the famous comedian who participated in Joe Rogan's show many times, and he is also the owner of Below the Belt podcast with UFC score of 6-5 and victories over LeVar Johnson, Gabriel Gonzaga, Chris Tucher, and even Mirko Cro Cop. Brandon Schaub had that nasty right hand that turned the lights out on Chris Tucher. Against LeVar Johnson he battled out pretty much well to score a victory, and the greatest upset of his career definitely happened against Mirko Cro Cop, whom he stopped in a very surprising match. But Brandon Schaub has always been a better comedian than a fighter, and he has a very bright future in the world of YouTubing. Number 2. Erik Andres. Unlike other NFL fighters, Erik Andres is an all-rounded guy, a very powerful man, and hear a bit about his fighting style.
I was an MMA fighter with heavy hands, you know. Like I said, I love the box, but I also love the grappling, everything that goes into MMA, you know.
Erik Andres is a very talented fighter who really gave a hard time to Lyoto Machida and defeated many other dangerous fighters, turned the lights out on Vinicius Moreira, and battled out Thiago Santos in a very violent affair. That's the man who fought John Jones for the title. So Erik Andres is a very promising name with that nasty, powerful left hand that could turn the lights out even on the most powerful opponent of the division. Number 1. Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is the former Minnesota Vikings player and the only NFL player in the history of this sport who was able to win the UFC title. Immediately after his initial victory to Min Soo Kim, he battled out in the UFC where he lost to Frank Mir, defeated Heath Herring, and defeated Randy Couture to win UFC title, then defended it against Frank Mir and Shane Carvin. But after he was heavily battered by Cain Velasquez and then annihilated by Uberim, or the way I like to call him, Alistair Overeem, he has never been the same. He returned once to fight Mark Hunt, but he was juiced, and as well as you know, that fight was overturned to no contest. And now, an honorable mention. Bob Sapp. He has unfortunately never been a UFC member, but Bob Sapp is known for many controversial fights because there was a time, according to Stav Economou, when he was a real beast, when he was turning the lights out on many people, including Kim In-soo, and defeating Ernesto Houst on 2 occasions. He turned the lights out on Bobby Ogun, he battered him heavily. He battered many other guys, even Asian guys like Ikuhisa Minova and other many known names. He turned the lights out on Alan Karev, but Mirko Cro Cop broke his orbital bone, and Stav Economou battered him heavily after the defeat to Stav Economou. He has never been the same and he was losing over and over. My avid fans, thanks for watching.